Hello, welcome back to the Halloween special. Normally this is where I tell you what the name of the poem or the little thought or story that I have written out. This time I don't. I'm actually going to relate an actual story that I had when I was in Chile with some friends, and kind of a creepy night that we had, and kind of a creepy day. So me and my friend, we were heading down the street to get back to our house after lunch. And as we were walking down the street, I could feel something like it was watching us. It created an immense pressure, that sense of feeling that like it was gazing on us. Like, the closest thing that I can think of is the one, the Eye of Sauron is locked onto us. It was really unnerving. And so basically, as we started to go down the road, we got to the point where our little rent-a-house was. You get to either turn left or right. And so obviously our house is on the right. We started walking up. I don't know why, but this detail is embedded in my memory. As we were leaving, there was a guy on a bike who was leaving the cul-de-sac as we were coming in. And so I don't know why, but he kind of also put out that same vibe. It's kind of like we were being watched by that same force. And so the way that we get to the house, you have to open up this little gate, and we have a step that was probably up to my hips. And so it was a huge, just like, step up. So I'm looking around, kind of trying to observe the situation. And my buddy, he turns to me and says, "I wonder if anyone else is home." And as he says that, the door unlocks and he pulls it open. And at that moment, it was a gust of wind had opened the door with him. And it was extremely cold wind that me and him both could feel. He said, "I wonder who could be here." And at that exact moment, we both heard coming from inside the house to what would be the left of us, inside this little pantry door that we had, just an unreproducible, deep voice that just said, "El Diablo." But I can't reproduce it. And it was really creepy. But for those of you who don't know, obviously you probably do, El Diablo means the devil. And so at that moment, as soon as he said that, the whole atmosphere of our house changed. We could see our breath inside the house. Everything about it was just extremely just cold. There was just something that was there. I can't explain what it was, neither can he. And so he turns back to me and just says, "Was that you?" And I said, "I thought I was going to ask you the same thing. Was that you?" And he said, "No, of course not. That couldn't be me." So we went in, we started talking about it, and we forgot about it after a few minutes and kind of took a little snooze and whatever, got something else to do, and we set back out for the night. So obviously, as we were out and about, we kind of forgot about the situation and everything that had happened. And so we came back to the house at about 10 o'clock at night. And by the way, this is in the middle of summer. So even in like the dead of night, it is still 90, 95 degrees. Just ridiculously hot. And so as we came home, or to the rent-a-house, so did our roommates. And we told them kind of the experience, and they just kind of shrugged it off. And we're like, "Oh, well, okay, whatever, that's cool." And then at that moment, we kind of talked for a few minutes about whatever, just what you always do when you have roommates, and just talk about whatever. And so we decided it was all time to go to bed. And so I go into my room, me and my buddy, because, there's 4 beds, so 2 in each room. So basically what ended up happening is as soon as I shut the door and locked it, because you have to, we could hear, like, walking down the hall, just which is creepy in itself because there were cement floors. To make noise like that, like a deep thud, there had to be some weight behind it. And as it was walking down the hall, it was dragging its hand across these wooden slats. Kind of sounded like Freddy Krueger for a second. It was just this deep nails just gashing this wood. Just we could actually hear it walk all the way down the hallway, turn to our door, and start trying to open it. nothing happened. He couldn't get the door open at all. And so we heard him get upset, whatever this force was, and it punched or it made a loud thud outside our door, turned around and started trying to do it to our other roommates. Like that. So all of a sudden it gets mad and, you know, creates that thudding, what sounds like it punched the wall or something like that near it. And it started to walk back down, and you could hear it bringing its hands across the opposite side of the hall. Just really creepy. So we waited a few minutes to see if the whatever it was had subsided, whatever the noise was. And it did, so we went to sleep. The next morning we woke up, I opened up the door and looked at the wooden slats, and the wooden slats had these huge old long claw, or not really claw marks, but like nail marks going down both sides of the hallway. Definitive cuts into them, just engraved all the way down the hallway. And so that was really creepy. So we talked to our roommates that were also in the house with us, and they said that they could actually hear the same thing last night, that something tried to like open the door, got frustrated, walked back down the hallway. So as we started to talk about it, and then, you know, just kind of how weird it was, the noises, and the fact that it could actually create such a deep thud as it walked on cement floor, we, you know, kind of joked about it. Oh yeah, you know, it was the devil. And then at that point we changed the subject and just kind of started talking about what we needed to do for the day, as we were starting a pot of hot water to boil so we could have a form of tea that they have over there. And at that point, the boiler had lifted off its station, brought itself forward, and then threw itself into the living room where we were. And at that point, we ran out of the house. We couldn't stay there anymore. It was something was there. So we ran out of there as fast as we could. We ended up calling the person who brought us down there, and we just kind of left it there for a little while. We stayed at some other people's houses for a while that we could go and visit. And after a couple days, we went back and everything seemed fine. Whatever it was, it had left. But after that, it was so ingrained in my memory. Even now, like as I think about the voice and the events conspiring afterwards, it gives me goosebumps still. It was just really creepy. One of the creepiest things I've ever experienced in my life. Again, I don't know exactly what it was, whether it was paranormal or the devil or someone who was in the house at night after that. It doesn't explain the boiler being thrown off with nothing there. And it was really creepy. So in any case, at that moment, we experienced something that we'll never forget. In any case, at this point, I hope that you enjoyed this little creepy story. I will have many more of these for you to come. There's a lot of experiences that I had personally in my own life and in South America, just some really bizarre things as well. So I'll get to those a little bit later, but I hope you enjoyed this. All right, thank you.